Hey friends, happy Friday. Scott Smith with the Smith Team at Keller Williams. Wanted to share with you some insight on a question that we often get, and it's, do we need representation when you're building a new home? And my emphatic answer is absolutely. So I've got 7 different points to consider as you're going through the process with thinking about new construction. We've actually had a lot more new construction prevalent in today's market with the shortage of inventory. So not being able to find an existing home, more and more buyers are looking at new construction as an alternative, which is great. Certainly more expensive, and you might not have the time frame that you would normally want. But we got 7 things for you to consider when you're working with new construction and having a realtor represent you. So the first thing is lot and location. And what I mean by that is if you're looking at a different development, comparing development A to development B, the lot selection down the road might have a significant consideration as far as like lot premiums, what might be built there down the road. And then also, just from a timing standpoint, is it worth it to pay a premium for some of those extra lots and waiting on it? So that's certainly a consideration. The second consideration to think about when you're having representation is that builder relationship. Over the years, almost 30 years in real estate, we've worked with almost 100 different builders and probably a couple hundred different new construction projects with our clients. So we've got a great perspective when we're working with those buyers, looking at navigating the new construction process, and certainly having a good builder relationship is going to make all the difference. I can tell you firsthand experience that none of the building experiences will go perfect and smooth as silk. You will have bumps along the way, but it's important that you have a good builder relationship with that. And as a real estate agent, we can always be the bad cop. If you want to be the good cop, we'll be the bad cop if we need to have a tough conversation with the builders and making sure things are staying on track. If we have to ask some of those tough questions and have a tough conversation, we're certainly privy to that. So the next thing, the third point is budget. And this is where it can get really out of hand because you'll ask yourself the question multiple times in the project is, well, we have to do it now because you can't do it later on, or it's cheaper to do it now versus doing it later on. So making sure you've got an extra set of eyes and ears on the budget makes a big difference when it comes to selections and design of your new home. The fourth component is design, and we've been in, I would say, tens of thousands of homes over the years, new construction, existing construction. So taking that blueprint or that concept and looking at it from a visual standpoint, where you can be efficient with your square footage, what might be the best layout for you, what does a 10 by 10 bedroom look like compared to a 10 by 11, orientation, layout within a kitchen, all those good things that we've got a good perspective to bring to our clients. So it certainly makes a difference when we're looking at design. And with our clients, we'll actually take you out and look at some existing homes so you can walk through them. Because a lot of people, if you're building, you just don't have the concept to understand what it looks like on paper. So it's important to go walk through some of those properties and see what it actually would look like and measure them, touch and feel the different products that they're putting into it. So that makes a huge difference. As you're kind of moving along the process for the new construction, the construction management component would be the fifth aspect to make sure you've got a realtor on your side, making sure that the process is happening the way it's supposed to happen, managing any delays and what that looks like for your move if you have to sell your house. And then along the way, there's also walkthroughs that'll happen. So typically there's 3 major walkthroughs when you have a new construction. The first one is the site preparation, making sure that the house is situated on site. Then there's the next one is the framing walkthrough. And that's once the foundation is in and the 2x4s are all up and the house is framed in, making sure that it's exactly the way you want it. I've heard horror stories where they actually built the house kind of the mirror image of the way that it should have been. That's just because there wasn't any oversight happening with that process. The third part of those walkthroughs is a pre-drywall walkthrough, and that's a real important one because when you're walking through that the house when it's all framed. And before they put that drywall up, you're checking out where you want the mechanicals, where you want the light switches, where do you want the outlets, where Where do you want the kitchen cabinets to line up? So it's really kind of the last opportunity where you can make some changes to those things. And it's good to have input where, where you're going to have your TV. Is it going to be above the fireplace? Is it going to be next to the fireplace in the living room? So those are certain things that are important. And also having some insight on if you're adding some extra outlets or light fixtures, how much are those going to cost? And those are some easy things that we can help you walk through. The last walkthrough that you might have is the finished product walkthrough. So we call it the blue tape walkthrough. So before we close on the property, the construction manager and the buyers and their agent, we're going to walk through and we're going to see if there's anything that little dings and dents, paint touch-ups, adjustments that need to be made. Maybe there's some last-minute punch lists that we need to make sure that everyone's on the same page with. Having an extra set of eyes and ears on those is absolutely critical because, again, we've been through plenty of walkthroughs. And we just don't want that project manager to have a short list. We want it to be a long list of some reasonable aspects to make sure that those get taken care of before closing. So the last thing is after closing. What happens after closing? Are there any warranties? How do we deal with the builder after that? So the seventh component is that after closing, making sure that we are going to be on the same page and a resource for you after you've moved into the house. Most new construction, they will have an 11-month walkthrough, and that would be if there's any nail pops as the house is kind of drying out, any sheetrock nail pops, any adjustments that need to happen, any warranty issues. Typically, it's within the first year, and then mechanicals are after 2 years, and then there's a structural foundation after 10 years in the state of Minnesota. So 7 different components, kind of long-winded message for you today, but certainly important. Most important bottom line is when you're looking at new construction, having a realtor that has experience in that arena by your side. All the builders will have a realtor compensation factored into their new construction. So with that, we get to work on your behalf and making sure that you have a great process and a great product at the end. Certainly reach out to us, 651-777-3434. Find us online. If you want to explore new construction, certainly reach out and we're happy to help. Take care. Bye now.